FOJ 74. After much debate, it is 74. What's up, Jason?
Jeff, how are you?
Good. And you're laughing because literally before I hit record, it's like, oh, it's FOJ 73. I'm like, wait, no, that's 73 was last week. And then I was like, oh, you're right, 74. And then I proceeded to type 73 like multiple places after I said that, like in my show notes thing and in like the name of the files. And I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with my life.
Hey, if you want it to be 73 2.0, because as I recall, we had some technical difficulties at the original 73, you could do that. That's fine.
Yeah, we lost an entire baseball segment from you.
Or we could just move on with our lives and, throw that one in the garbage and say, hey, we are FOJ 74.
Yeah. Well, I split the difference. So I kept what I could keep without making it like a weird transition of like, this just isn't going to work. So unfortunately, we lost I want to say 10 or 15 minutes of baseball talk yesterday. Actually, I don't think we had any baseball talk on our last one because for whatever reason, your device didn't record it and it was just not there. It never happened. But I assure you it happened. I was there.
It was probably a bunch of useless banter about random baseball gibberish that nobody really cares about. So I wouldn't really, care about it too much.
Well, that could describe most of our shows. So you'd have to be more specific.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, okay, I'll start you with this. So FOJ 74. So lately, I think I first hit you with this 2 episodes ago of what the number 72 meant to you. What does the number 74 in Bears history mean to you? Anything?
Means nothing to me.
Okay, that is the jersey number of a Bears Hall of Famer. Does that help you?
No.
Offensive lineman from their Super Bowl 20 winner, Jimbo Covert, or number 74 for the Bears.
Okay. Well, congratulations to Jim Covert. And we're doing this one for Jimbo.
There you go. He was recently actually at the NFL draft. I think he announced, was it their second? I think it was their second round pick. He announced it. So, because he's from Pittsburgh and that's where the draft was. So,
did he announce it with incredulity, whatever the word is? Saying not a defensive lineman. What the fuck?
Yeah, right. He walked out there looking all to the nines. I'm talking suit, short, straight haircut. The guy looked like he maybe retired 10 years ago. And this is a guy who played back in the 80s.
Isn't he on TV?
I don't remember if he was on TV or not. Maybe as an analyst at some point. But I think he has had a very successful post-football career. Most offensive linemen, for whatever reason, seem to have successful careers after football. I mean, they're all very smart for whatever reason. I don't know what it is. I don't know the fact that they're not the divas that, wide receivers and corners and running backs seem to be sometimes. Offensive linemen are just nose to the grind, smart dudes that stay out of the limelight, stay out of trouble, do their job, and then go on to live life afterwards. So,
yeah, there's something about offensive linemen. When I first found out the fact that most offensive linemen were coming from really smart schools and had, above average, I would say grades, right? I won't say smart or intelligent, but I'll just say, they tested well in school and generally were, smart kids in class. I was kind of blown away because I think there's a stereotype, and I probably learned this when I was probably 14 or 15, so ages ago. But, the stereotype I think at the time would have been, oh, big dumb football jock.
Yeah, right.
But that couldn't be further from the truth.
Not for that position. Let's see, Covert, he went to Pitt. And another example, what's his name? Drew Dahlman went to Stanford, the guy who just retired. So, a lot of these guys go to big time schools and, like you said, extremely smart, extremely intelligent, well spoken. It just I don't know if it's a crazy coincidence or there's something actually to it, but yeah, they don't mess around. So
What is it
Good
you
for
think
them.
that attracts those types of players in, I guess, in that specific role? Because you don't hear it with defensive linemen typically. It's usually offensive linemen
No,
that
it's
have sort
usually
of
offensive.
that
Yeah,
reputation, for better or for worse. I don't know if it's true, but it seems like offensive linemen are smart,
they
broadly speaking.
are. And what's funny is I think offensive line, honestly, is like the position that's like least talked about. As important as it is, I mean,
Unless
a
you're a
lot of
Chicago Bear fan from the last
well,
decade.
right. Yeah, I know. But a lot of teams you know who the pass rushers are. You know who the linebackers are. You know who the receivers are. I couldn't tell you a starting offensive lineman from most other NFL teams besides the Bears.
Yeah, because if
I
they're
just
doing their job, they're not getting called out. The only time you
that's
hear an
right.
offensive lineman's name is when they're getting flagged for false start.
Yeah, or holding or,
Yeah.
hands to the face or whatever. So, I guess the less they are a part of the game, the better. Or the less they're mentioned, the better, I guess is more how I should say that. But yeah, Covert is like I said, probably probably the best offensive tackle they've ever had. So, perennial Pro Bowler. He was a high draft pick and was, performed he was everything they expected him to be. So I think he was with the Bears a long time. I don't know if he played anywhere else.
I'm not sure if he did or not. Let me look it up in my friend Wikipedia.
So, but the other news that just came out today for the Bears was they had a retirement.
Who retired from the Bears? Please don't say
Well,
another offensive lineman.
no, this is gonna laugh. Undrafted free agent signing Squirrel White out of Florida State, who signed with the team like 2 weeks ago, went to rookie mini camp over the weekend and retired today.
Okay.
So
Hey, he
I
figured it out. He figured out this is not for him.
maybe it was too much. Maybe it wasn't for him. Maybe he saw the writing on the wall. I don't know. Maybe he just wanted to get paid for a weekend. I doubt it was a whole lot of money. But the squirrel is loose. He is moving on to bigger and better things, I guess.
22
So,
years old from Birmingham, Alabama.
uh-huh.
Marquarius Malik Squirrel White, an American former professional football wide receiver. So apparently his Google is already been updated.
Former. Oh my God, that's a riot.
Yeah.
So if you signed a contract but only lasted 2 weeks and you lasted one mini camp, can you really call yourself a former professional?
Mm, did he get NIL money?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I feel like if you're getting NIL money, then you can.
I never heard of the guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great
My
name.
guess is,
Great nickname, I guess.
yeah, my guess is playing at Florida State, he probably got something, but he couldn't have been all that great for Florida State because he didn't get drafted. So I don't
Hmm.
know.
Well,
I don't know, but
I guess, you know what? Congratulations to him. He figured it out in, rookie mini camp that it wasn't for him. So it means he wasn't willing to put in the effort, or he wasn't good enough. One of the two, or just his heart wasn't into it. I guess one of those three things. Doesn't matter. He figured it out and he did something about it. Can you imagine how many people stick around in a role they don't really want to be in, but just do? They go through the motions.
oh, I'm sure that happens a lot.
Yeah.
But what I would encourage our listeners to do and
Quit your jobs. Go to the beach.
email us on this. I want to know what your favorite moment of the Squirrel White era of Bears football was. So if you have one, send it to us and we'll talk about it. So good luck to the squirrel.
I'm curious if I hope people email you with their favorite moves because I would love to see what he did.
Oh, heck yeah, man. So that's all I know about the Bears. The only other thing is I guess Caleb is hosting all the receivers out in California for a little workout session. So they
Okay, well,
were
that's good.
practicing on the USC campus. I think it was today actually,
All right.
on their practice field. So
Do you think they're going to retire Squirrel's number and put up a statue?
I don't even know what Squirrel's number was.
I don't. I mean, it was 3. It looks like according to the pictures I see online.
Ooh, okay.
But do you even have a number in rookie minicamp? Do you have to earn it?
That's a great question. I don't know. Would you? I don't know if you'd want to retire the number 3.
Well, it looks like he also wore number 4. So if you Google Squirrel White and you flip over to the image search, you've got like 6 pictures of the player and a whole shit ton of white squirrels.
That's funny. Well, let's see. You know what? I'm going to say no, they're not going to retire it because they didn't even retire Brian Urlacher's number.
Which is, come on.
I know. And
that's just coming, right? At some point when he's like...
the NFL, I think, has told the Bears, you have too many numbers retired.
Oh, I'm sorry for having too many good players.
Yeah, right. I know. Because I think Dan Hampton's another one. And Mike Singletary's number is not retired. I know they had 99s and 50s. And what is it? Logan Jones, their second round pick, is now the new 54. And I guess Urlacher said he was, reached out to by Logan Jones saying, hey, is it cool if I wear your number? And I guess Urlacher said publicly, yes, of course it is. But he's like, it's not mine to give. The Bears own the number. So I don't know if there's some, animosity there.
There was something at the end of his career, right?
Urlacher's exit from the Bears was not pretty. I guess they didn't offer him a whole lot of money at the end, and he wanted to come back, but then decided not to. And yeah, it was kind of strange. And I don't remember the whole gist of it, but it was not a clean break that was let's just say the nicest of goodbyes.
So the Bears have 14 retired jerseys.
14. Oh boy. Oh, okay. Do you have them?
I have them.
Okay. Let's see how many of these I can get. 14. Let's see. Obviously Walter Payton.
Yep.
14. Holy cow. Was it Sid Luckman?
Yep. 42.
Okay.
The ever popular quarterback, defensive back, punter, Sid Luckman.
Yes. I don't think they didn't retire Hampton's number, did they? No. Did they retire Steve McMichael's number?
They did not.
Okay. I was trying to think of 85 Bears that they would have retired. Boy, I'm not going to get a whole lot. Oh, Dick Butkus.
Yep.
Doug Buffone.
No,
maybe not. What is it? Gary Fensick?
Nope.
Doug Plank?
Nope.
Oh man, are these like old guys or new guys? Oh, okay. If they're a bunch of old guys, then I'll never.
Yeah, but there's some big names here still that I'm surprised you haven't even guessed yet.
Devin Hester.
Nope.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Any other quarterbacks?
Quarterbacks. No, Sid Luckman was the last one.
Okay.
The only one.
Let's see, running backs. Oh, didn't Bronco Nagurski play for the Bears?
He did, and his number was retired. He was a fullback, linebacker, and a tackle.
Wow.
Number 3.
Okay. Oh, well then let's just add Squirrel White's name to that jersey.
I mean, clearly it's deserved.
Duh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna need some clues, man.
All right. Well,
if you have any.
He goes by the name Papa Bear.
Oh, George Halas.
Yeah, George Halas, founder coach, number 7.
Okay.
Another smooth running back, didn't play very long.
Oh, Gale Sayers.
Yep.
And I'll add Mike Ditka to that.
And yep, the only tight end on the list, Mike Ditka. This one has a movie.
Oh, Brian Piccolo.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's see. The other ones, I know the names, but I don't know who they are. So I'll just give them to you. George McAfee.
Okay.
Willie Gallimore.
Never heard of him.
Bill Hewitt.
Never heard of him.
Bill George.
I've heard of Bill George, linebacker, right?
Linebacker and MG. I'm not sure what MG is.
Okay.
Number 61. Number 66, Clyde Bulldog Turner.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I have no idea.
And number 77, which I've heard, but Harold Red Grange.
Red Grange, sure.
Mm-hmm. Halfback.
Red
DB.
Grange went to U of I too. He went to Illinois.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I know Red Grange. I just don't know anything other than the name.
Yeah. Okay.
So there you go. A little trivia for you to start the day off.
I like that. But yeah, I think Squirrel White needs to be added to that number 3 for sure.
So here's who they haven't retired: Devin Hester, Mike Singletary, Brian Urlacher, Richard Dent, Dan Hampton.
All Hall of Famers. All of them.
Like
Steve McMichael, another Hall of Famer.
Ben Johnson.
That's coming. Caleb Williams. It's coming.
It's coming. Yeah. Like I feel like Singletary not being on the list is kind of a shock.
Yeah, because from that 85 team, let's be honest, they could have Singletary, Hampton, McMichael, Dent,
mm-hmm.
and then probably they have Covert, maybe Jay Hilgenberg, who I think belongs in the Hall of Fame. Obviously Peyton. I'm not going to say Jim McMahon. I mean, that's probably it. Mm-hmm. But there was some. Gary Fensick. I mean, there were some dudes on that team who played really good football for a long time.
Charles Tillman, is he a retiree?
Yeah. I think he eventually gets in the Hall of Fame. I mean, the peanut punch, man. They
name it after him.
That's right.
I mean, if you got to move, I feel like that's an automatic qualifier.
For sure. No doubt about it. He was number 33, I think?
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
Yeah. So there's definitely other guys worthy of it. I mean, look, you said they have 14 numbers retired. That leaves them 86. Actually, if you include the number 0 and the number 00, there's 88 still available numbers to people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they could throw more up there.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We'll just do what we do in IT, and we'll go to hexadecimals. And that uses letters and numbers. And now imagine all the different options. If you can have, and wearing number 1A is the quarterback who throws it to number, B6, who sunk his battleship with that sack. Look, the puns write themselves.
What if you just did like O2 and D2, the offense number 2? Defense number 2. I know college teams have guys that wear the same number. They just can't play on the same side of the ball.
Mm.
There are a couple of college teams that I've seen that have guys with the same number, because I think some college teams carry, believe it or not, more than 100 players.
Problem
which is crazy.
With that is people associate numbers as an identity with the players.
Yes.
So how are you going to sell jerseys when, everybody is, 1, 2, offense 1, offense 2, offense 3. There's no individuality there.
Yeah, right.
And we got to make money.
The only thing there is you have to put the name on the back of the jersey.
Right. We could do, what was the name of that XFL, right? Where you could put whatever you want in the back of the jersey. I mean, He Hate Me. Still talking about him. Probably wasn't a very good player, but we're still talking about it. I can't get it out of my mind.
That was the greatest XFL name in that league. It was He Hate Me.
I don't know what his real name was.
No, I think he had a tryout with somebody, because if I recall, he was pretty good in the XFL. But
Rod Smart.
Well, I mean, I'm sure his jersey sold like crazy. As for XFL jerseys, I'll bet he had one of the highest selling jerseys.
Well, it looks like he played for Carolina Panthers.
I'm guessing under the name Rod Smart and not He Hate Me.
Yeah. Yeah, he played for, he had 5 seasons in the NFL.
Okay. Well, then he must have been a pretty good player.
He didn't see much action.
Hey, on the active roster. That's what matters.
Yeah. Never started
roster.
a game. His 5-year stats, and so his all-time stats, 29 carries for 67 yards and 5 first downs. Never scored a touchdown rushing. Oh. And he caught all 4 of the passes thrown his way for 16 yards, 1 first down, no touchdowns. Never scored a touchdown in the NFL.
So he averaged 4 yards a catch, and he averaged about 2.7 or 8 yards a carry.
2.3.
2.3. Okay.
Yards a carry. Yeah.
That's a little off.
Wow. From 2001 to 2005.
Well, I will say this. I doubt many podcasts mention Rod, he hate me smart these days. So, Rod, if you're listening, listener of the week, man.
Yeah, congratulations. I don't have my sound effects, but yeah.
Yeah.
And if you want to come and talk on your, illustrious career, come on. Anybody who makes the NFL is immediately better than anything.
Hell yeah, man. I would love to get a Rod Smart on the pod. Sure.
And that goes for Squirrel White too. Come on. Let's talk.
Yeah. I want to hear about the greatest 2 weeks of your life.
Yeah.
So.
Looks like he was more of a punt returner, kick returner. Yeah, 2003 was kind of his biggest year. Oh, he did have a touchdown. He had a 100-yard kickoff return in 2003 for a touchdown.
Well, you can't hate that,
yeah,
Rod.
I definitely don't that. I don't hate him or he or them or us.
Yeah, he hate me. Wow. That's like she hate her.
Do you think he trademarked that? He has.
We hate us.
Mm-hmm.
Or I hate me. No, I hate me. Wow. That's yeah. Well, Rod, I hope you're doing well, buddy. I hope you were able to parlay that into some money for yourself.
Well, apparently the XFL trademarked it.
Oh.
So Vince McMahon got his money? Wasn't he involved with the XFL?
He was the owner of the XFL.
Okay. Well,
yes. Owner and
a
creator.
Businessman. So yeah. He hate me. Under new ownership in 2016, filed a trademark, and they filed new applications around February 2021. So still an active trademark that is being used.
Wasn't there a second attempt at the XFL?
Yeah, recently. I don't think it never happened.
I don't think it ever took off, but I know they were talking about it. And I know, well, don't they have, what is it, the American Football League in the spring? Isn't that going on still?
I think so, yeah. It's kind of been a test ground for some of the new rules.
Yeah, like a minor league type thing. So, yeah, they've tried alternative leagues before. It's like nothing ever really took off. I mean, the closest thing that got anywhere was the USFL. I remember that.
Well,
and
a man of your advanced age would.
Yeah. A lot of NFL players did get their start in the USFL. I remember that. Remember they originally drafted Herschel Walker.
Yep.
And who is it? Tom Thayer of Bears fame played in USFL as well.
Okay.
So there's your football trivia for tonight.
Yeah. What started with Jimbo Covert ended up with Squirrel White and 14 Bears retire numbers and he hate me trademark.
That's
that
right
there is the FOJ show in a nutshell.
Gotta love it, man. Mm-hmm. You never know what you'll find.
So I was telling you before we hit record that I have no idea what's going on in the sports world because I just haven't been paying attention to it for, I don't know, last few weeks, I guess. The only thing I know is that the Cubs went on some sort of great winning streak, which I believe is over. And I did see the Knicks swept somebody, and now they're, I think, waiting for the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yes.
And I did see Wemby threw an elbow and got ejected. That's the only thing I know about. So
he did.
If it's not one of those 3 stories, I have no idea what's going on. And so now comes Jay's wide world of sports.
Okay, well, first let's touch on the local stuff first. So The Cubs, yes, 10-game winning streak, which I believe was their second 10-game winning streak of the season, believe it or not. And to have 2 streaks of that stature this early is pretty awesome. And at one point, they had the best record in all of baseball. I know they're up there. I don't know if they still do. I think the Atlanta Braves were challenging them for that, but they are up there playing good ball, despite just a ton of pitching injuries. Matthew Boyd apparently tore his meniscus playing with his children somehow.
See, kids, they fuck up your life.
I know. So,
and they have the 3rd best record right now. So they are 1 game behind the Rays and the Braves.
Rays and the Braves.
Yeah, Braves are 28-13. The Rays, Tampa Bay Rays, are 26-13. So they've got 2 less games played, and then the Cubs are 27-14.
Okay. So, yeah, Cubs are up there playing good ball. I'm not sure who they played during the week this week, but the annual Crosstown Classic begins next weekend, where it's Cubs versus White Sox at Guaranteed Rate Field on the south side. And the Sox right now sit at 19-21. Last year at this time, they were 11-29. Now, the Sox play in the worst division in baseball record-wise because their 19-21 record, I believe, has them only 1 game out of first.
They're 1.5 out.
1.5. Okay. So the division is competitive against each other.
Yeah.
But
there's only
not
3 games difference between last and first.
Top to bottom. So, yeah, it's just nobody's really run away with it yet. But it's nice to see that the Sox 40 games in are relevant. They're relevant to their division. They're relevant to, discussing a potential playoff spot. Do I think they're going to make the playoffs? No. Do I think they're going to win the division? Probably not. But it's cool to see that, 40 games in, so almost a quarter of the season over, that the games still matter. Because the last few years, they were long out of it, even by now. So, they've got some good things going on. I mean, Mooney Murakami, 15 homers, the guy that nobody else wanted out of Japan that they took a flyer on and signed him to a 2-year deal. He's come through for them. Miguel Vargas, I think, has like 9 home runs, and Colson Montgomery has like 11 home runs. So the 3 of those dudes have combined for more home runs than 6 teams in baseball. So that's cool.
It seems like it's a very even league. I'm looking over the standings right now, and let's take out the top 3: Braves, Rays, and Cubs. We're all like a game away. You've got the Yankees at 26-16, and then last place you've got the Mets 15-25. But there's only a 10-game difference between every other team in the MLB right now.
Yeah, a lot of teams are still kind of figuring out where they're at, who they are.
It's about 40 games played, roughly.
Yeah, so a quarter of the season. They usually by the end of May, who's good and who's not. But yeah, there's a lot of parity right now, a lot of good baseball being played all over. And it's been fun to watch. My kids watch, they call it MLB Big Inning on MLB Network. It's kind of like their version of Red Zone. You've got the 4 split screens, and they kind of flip back and forth to where guys have runners on base and guys are about to score, or one of the stars is up to bat, that kind of thing. So it's kind of a cool thing that MLB Network has done for free, and they'll do it during the prime time of the games, which is kind of cool.
This is on TV, or is this streaming?
It's on TV. It's on MLB Network.
MLB Network. Okay. I would say I would search it out, but I'd be lying.
I know.
I mean, I like the concept. It's great.
Yeah, no, it's cool because, they kind of jumped on what football does and just makes all the games a little more accessible, which is cool. So now we can talk basketball. Yes, the Knicks, I think, blew past whoever the hell they were playing in their round. And they're waiting for
the Sixers.
Sixers,
they beat the
I believe.
Sixers. Yeah. And they also beat the Celtics too. No, wait, no, the Sixers beat the Celtics. The Knicks beat the Hawks.
Knicks beat them, and I forget who's on the other side of that bracket.
You got Cavaliers and Pistons. Detroit's up 2-1. I'm looking at the bracket right now, and actually they're playing right now. Cavaliers are winning 80-68. So if that holds true, we'll have a tied series.
Knicks are tough. They have Jalen Brunson. What's his name? Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, that was the last game I watched. Was the Knicks? It was like game 6. No, like game 7 or whatever it was when I signed up for NBA League Pass, and the Knicks beat them. And I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm not watching the Bulls anymore.
Well, we'll get to the Bulls in a minute. What is it in the West? You got San Antonio playing Minnesota, and then I think the Lakers are about to bow out against whoever it is they're playing. OKC, that's right.
Yeah, they're up 3-0, so do or die time for the Lakers.
Yeah, that series has not been close. The Minnesota-San Antonio series has been interesting. Wembanyama threw an elbow into Naz Reid last night and got ejected, and then the rumor was he was maybe going to be suspended for Game 5. I don't know if that's come out yet or not, but it was pretty bad.
He will play Game 5. I see this as a headline.
Okay,
at least according to sources.
Okay, well that's good.
Nobody wants to see that. Like, he's a draw, and so having him out, that's a financial decision.
I agree. But from what I've seen, it's been a pretty good series. But I still think OKC is probably the favorite in the West. I think an OKC New York Knicks final would be awesome for basketball. It'd be good. It'd be really good basketball to watch. The Bulls got the number 4 pick in the lottery.
I didn't even know they had the lottery.
They did. They had the draft lottery. I believe it was yesterday. Yes, it was yesterday. And the Bulls, I think, had, what is it, like the 9th best chance at the number 1 pick. Very small chance. But the lottery, I think, takes the top 12. It's either top 12 or top 13 teams or whatever. Or maybe it's top 14, whatever. But the Bulls had some situation, I think it was due to a trade they made, that if they were to avoid getting 9 or lower, it automatically put them in the top 4. And sure enough, when the Mavericks were pulled at 9, that bumped the Bulls into the top 4. And they still had a shot to get number 1, but when they got to number 4, the Bulls were picked. The good news is, supposedly there are 4 players in this draft that are potential franchise changers.
Okay, you need to explain something. How is this draft working? Because I have not kept up with this at all. I know the last I followed it, there was a lottery of some sort, and the worst teams got through in, and I guess you had a number of ping pong balls based on your whatever, and they pulled it.
There is some of that, but now you can. It has to do with the trades that teams make. You can protect picks. Like, for instance, you can trade a team a pick, but you want it protected, meaning if the pick becomes a top 10 pick, the team gets to keep it, and then you automatically get next year's pick. So I think what happened was the Bulls made a trade for a pick maybe last year. The team ultimately kept that pick, which meant whatever pick this team got this year, now it went to the Bulls. Now, based on record, and because what they're trying to do is
I'm trying to stop tanking.
Well, ultimately, and I don't think that'll ever happen.
I don't think they made it for this. I mean, whatever changed that, it wasn't going to be for this time, but they've been talking about changing.
Somehow the teams that were bad are like the 4 worst teams were guaranteed a top 4 spot. And because the Bulls made a trade, they somehow got that pick. So as long as they weren't pulled at number 9, they jumped up all the way to 4. I'd have to do the research on it to see what actually happened, but that is what happened. And they're going to get a really solid player at number 4. So that's good. Now, what they do with that pick ultimately is up to them. Last time they picked at number 4, they picked Patrick Williams. And we all know what big fans of Patrick Williams I am. Didn't start in college, was garbage the day he got here. And not only did they draft him and play him, but they extended him, which even pissed me off even more as a Bulls fan. So hopefully we get it right this time. They have a brand new executive. Still have not hired a coach yet. Rumor has it that Tom Thibodeau is interested in coming back. Could you imagine if he came back?
I mean, they would be good on defense. They'd also score like 80 points a game.
They would score 80 points a game. He would run their starters into the ground. But yeah, he would. I think they'd be pretty good.
I'm looking at the potential draft picks, and the ESPN mock draft has Caleb Wilson, power forward center out of North Carolina.
Yeah.
A freshman.
He's one of the 4. Yeah, he's one of the 4. I think it's him, Cam Boozer out of Duke, AJ, I forget his last name.
Cameron Boozer, Darren Peterson, and AJ Dibansa. Dibansa?
Yeah, that guy will probably go number 1. The second guy you said will probably go 2. And then I think either the guy you mentioned or Boozer will go 3 or 4. I think that's a pick 'em, if you will. But Boozer is the son of Carlos Boozer. So we get a Boozer on the Bulls 2.0.
Didn't we talk about him?
We did
too long ago.
We did.
Does he have
take a ride on the Booze Cruise?
Wasn't there like a couple Boozer boys playing basketball?
Yeah, they're actually twins.
Okay.
Cam is the better of the 2. So
that's gotta suck to be a twin and not be as good as your brother.
Well, I think his brother will probably get drafted, just not as high. I mean, Cam Boozer, I looked at his stats yesterday, averaged like 23 points, over 10 rebounds, shot almost 40% from 3. But he's a power forward. So big guy who can shoot the 3 and is athletic. So yeah, you'd love to have a guy like that. Okay. At least I would have loved to have a guy like that.
Well, congratulations to the Bulls, turning over a new leaf. I will most likely not get League Pass again next year to do my part to keeping the Bulls good.
Well, I feel like the past few years they've been stuck in like basketball hell. They've drafted anywhere from like 9 to 14, and then they get a guy who's just kind of average, fills the roster, whatever. And they're good enough. Normally they've been good enough to make the play-in, and then they lose. But when you make the play-in, you're not in the lottery, and it's just, it's just kind of stupid. So hopefully this gets them turned in the right direction.
Yes, we'll see.
Well, yeah, I know. See it. We'll believe it when we see it.
Mm-hmm.
So now we can turn to the other United Center tenant, and the Blackhawks, who also wound up with the number 4 pick in the draft coming up in June, I believe. And that will probably get them a pretty good player as well. Everybody was hoping for number 1, who's going to be probably Gavin McKenna, who is Connor Bedard's cousin, believe it or not. Spent a season at Penn State and will probably jump straight to the NHL next year. There's this dude out of Sweden. I think his name is Ivan Stenberg, who's supposed to be just a beast. I don't think he drops to number 4. Some mock drafts have him going at number 4, but we'll see. And then if they don't get one of those 2 guys, they'll probably pick one of the top defensemen in the draft. But the exciting news for Hawks fans is they drafted a guy a couple of years ago named, I wrote it down, Roman Kanserov, who plays in the KHL. Are you aware of what the KHL is?
Nope, but I'm guessing it's like a Letterkenny type thing.
The KHL is the Russian equivalent of the NHL. So it's the highest professional league in Russia. And Kanserov led that league last year in scoring. scoring 36 goals in 63 games. And he was a draft pick of the Hawks, so they owned his rights if he ever came over. So it came out this past week that he has terminated his contract with whatever team he played on and is coming to Chicago next year. Whether he starts in the minors, I don't know, but I have a feeling that he'll be an impact player for the Hawks by the end of the season, if not from beginning of the year. So,
assuming that he gets drafted by them.
No, they own his rights.
Oh, they own his rights. Okay.
They drafted him a couple years ago.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
so
and
he's like a deferred type player.
Yeah, it's like a guy, you draft who's playing in Europe and then decides to come over a couple years later. So yeah, I mean, that's exciting. I think this is the year I hope that they maybe take a free agent splash and not just sign guys to fill the roster. They sign guys of substance and guys who could score, and maybe use some of their prospect depth, because they do have the deepest prospect pool in all of hockey, which is good. Hopefully they use some of that depth to maybe make a deal or two to get some actual established players to help some of these young guys, and maybe they take a step next year. But as you said about the Bulls, we'll say it about the Hawks. We'll see.
When is the NHL draft?
I think it's in June or very early July.
Okay, so it's still a little ways away. I was wondering, I'm scrolling through ESPN and it's like there's literally nothing under NHL for draft.
I'm assuming it's probably not long after the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah. Still, doesn't even make any of the menus in NHL on ESPN. Nothing about the draft.
Interesting.
I had to go to Google.
And did you find it?
I did, on the NHL website.
So when is the draft?
You know what? I didn't look at the date.
Oh.
Let me Google that real quick for you.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's in June, maybe
June 26th is the first round.
Say mid to late June. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they extended their general manager, Kyle Davidson. I don't know how long they extended him for, but he's the guy who's been kind of behind this rebuild, and everybody's kind of getting a little impatient, but yeah, they have a ton of young guys. They have like the second or third youngest roster in the NHL last year, and you kind of expected what you're getting, but as we've talked about before, Chicago sports fans are very impatient, and it is time for them to take a step. They've missed the playoffs, I think, the last like 5 years or something like that, and that doesn't sit well with diehard Hawks fans, I'm sure. So
it's unacceptable.
Yeah.
You ever see Letterkenny?
Letterkenny, no.
It's on it's a Hulu show. So if you have Disney and or Hulu,
I do.
It is a fantastic show.
Letterkenny. Okay.
Letterkenny. It's a comedy based on like Upper Canada and hockey players and kind of small town Canada life. It's ridiculous and hilarious, and if you stick with it and you make it to where they introduce the character Shoresy, who has his own spinoff, by the way, it's unbelievable.
Okay, now that you're describing it, I think I've heard of it. I've never seen it, but I think I have heard of it.
Very quotable. And it's just small town Canada life, and like hockey is life for some of the characters in it, and it's fantastic. I want to say there's like 5 or 6 seasons of it, and it stays kind of ridiculous the whole way through.
What is it? Letterkenny?
Letterkenny, one word. Okay. Letterkenny. Letterkenny.
Letterkenny. Okay.
It's a town or something in Canada.
Oh, that's the town. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Letterkenny. All right.
Yeah. But very quotable and very funny.
I'll check it out.
Yeah. And when you're done with that, you watch Shoresy, which I think season 3 or maybe 4 came out recently.
Okay.
Yeah. A character is so popular, they spun him off into his own show.
I like that.
Yeah. Oh, and definitely not safe for children, by the way. So there is extreme language.
Oh, all the more reason to watch it.
Yeah, exactly. Especially Shoresy, which is hilarious.
Yeah,
I won't ruin anything for you, but it's really good.
get behind that.
Yeah.
I could get behind things that aren't safe for children. Definitely. So yeah, man, that's kind of the sports update for now. NBA playoffs going on, NHL playoffs going on, baseball, heading into the summer. Football, they just had rookie mini camp, and I don't know when OTAs begin, but probably before too long. I'm excited. I'm excited for the Bears. I think this podcast just kind of that's our main focus,
Mm-hmm. It's our meat,
and
and and the potatoes.
Meat and potatoes, definitely. So I'm excited to talk about it. I'm excited to think about it. I'm excited to watch it. Yeah. So go Bears as always. But yeah, it's the sports world for right now.
So the 4 major professional sports: football, basketball, hockey, and baseball, in the U.S. at least. Which of those 4 would you terminate and get rid of?
Me personally, or do you think?
Yeah, you. I want to know. Obviously, baseball's going to be your number 1, but of the 3 that are left, which one do you say, no, I don't need this anymore?
I would say basketball.
Really?
And only because I'm a big hockey fan. I like hockey.
Mm-hmm.
I like basketball too, but I think I enjoy watching hockey more. So if I had to pick one, it would be basketball. That's probably the one I pay the least attention to.
Okay. Just curious.
I think the public would say get rid of hockey. Because
yeah.
I think most hockey fans are like diehard. You don't have a lot of casual hockey fans. I mean, you have casual baseball fans, you have casual football fans, and I even think you have casual basketball fans. Because they're events, they're things to do, they're places to be seen. I think hockey fans are kind of a different breed.
Yeah, you got to watch Letterkenny.
Yeah, it's a different. Hockey's a different game. I mean, think about it. I mean, it's probably the most. I mean, I know football's violent, but you can't fight in football. You can fight in hockey. And and I think the players are just different. Yeah, I just think hockey's like its own deal. So.
Okay. I'm most surprised to hear basketball, but I get it. But again, it was going to come down to hockey or basketball. It wasn't going to be baseball or football. So
yeah, I can't imagine a lot of people choosing baseball or football. I know, and as big of a baseball fan I am, football is America's game. I know that. Football is a weak event. I mean, everybody countdown to Sunday, countdown to Monday night. Now it's Thursday. I know they're trying to fit in Friday, and all that kind of thing. So yeah, football is a major deal in this country.
Yeah, and once college is kind of over, they take over Saturday too.
Exactly. So
yeah, well, I'm definitely a football guy. So used to be big into basketball, but not so much anymore. Don't really kind of follow it.
It's when your team sucks.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to stay with it.
It does, and I'm out of market, so I'm not exposed to it. So it's, in a way, it's almost kind of hard. It's easy to kind of miss or not hard to miss, I guess, depending on your viewpoint, because you're not exposed to it all the time. Like, I don't hear anything about Chicago Bulls in North Carolina.
Right.
It just doesn't happen.
Do you hear a lot? I mean, are the Hornets a thing down there?
I mean, I guess so, but I also don't live near Charlotte, so I'm a couple hours away. I guess college is probably the biggest sport in my area. It would be the UNC, Asheville.
Okay. What's the biggest sports market that you live close to?
Charlotte's probably the closest. I mean, they got the Panthers. The Carolina Hurricanes are doing well, apparently.
Yeah, they are. They're a very good hockey team.
Yeah, that's probably the closest one to me, and they're about, like I said, a couple hours away.
Charlotte is home to AAA White Sox.
Yeah, I vaguely recall that, because didn't Jordan play there?
He did. He spent most of his time in Birmingham with the Barons, but I think he did do a stint in Charlotte as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it'll be Charlotte. Atlanta's the other probably much bigger market that would be closer to us. But yeah, it's not really a sports town. We have minor league baseball, the Asheville Tourists, who have a new stadium as of this year.
Nice.
I think they're like a Cleveland, was it like minor league team?
Okay.
And then, yeah, it's college town. So UNC, Asheville.
Okay.
Which I think they've been good, actually. Like they've been good at whatever sports they've been playing. Basketball,
Nice.
I think, and football.
I was going to say Atlanta. Atlanta they don't have a hockey team.
Yeah.
They had the Thrashers for a while, and I forget who the Thrashers became.
Well, it's a Braves town. As
for sure.
And, Falcons
and Hawks.
Yep.
Yeah, the Braves, gosh, the Braves back in the 90s, they won the division like every year.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Chicago's got what, 2 baseball teams, football, basketball, hockey, women's basketball, women's soccer, men's soccer. They've got it all. So we'll see. But are any of them any good? We'll find out. I would say probably the Cubs. The Cubs are probably the closest to a title as we speak. So we'll see. They'll make the playoffs. I think they make the playoffs this year.
So that was Jay's Wide World of Sports.
That's right.
Okay. Well, you're going Wide World of Sports. I'm going.
You're going Wide World.
Yeah.
Yeah. You tell us about what you're doing on Friday.
Friday, I am crossing the Atlantic again to go to Berlin, Germany for a conference, and that's it. So I'll be out there for a week, like this Friday to the following Saturday. I guess technically I get back about 6 hours ahead from here, but it is roughly 14 hours of flying, I think.
Are you staying in the same place?
I'm staying in the same general location, the Alexanderplatz, but a different hotel in an area, which hopefully will be nicer than the last one. Although the last one wasn't too bad.
Now, I remember you said last time you didn't have a whole lot of free time.
I didn't, and I don't again.
You don't again.
Actually, okay, so no. I fly in, so I get in. So I leave Friday. My flight out of Asheville is at like 7:00 p.m.
Okay.
And then it's basically a red-eye flight from Atlanta to Amsterdam, Netherlands. And then I think I've got I'm not sure how long my layovers. I have to look and check. But then I basically catch a flight from Amsterdam to Berlin.
Okay.
And I should theoretically get to Berlin around 4 or 5 p.m. I think it is.
On Saturday.
Let's see, 4:40 p.m. I'm supposed to land in Berlin on Saturday.
Okay.
So almost 24 hours of flying. And that includes a 2-hour layover in Atlanta and a 2-hour layover in Amsterdam.
Okay, so you'll probably take Sunday to kind of catch up.
Sunday will be, find some food and go to sleep.
Yeah, sure.
And then it starts Monday. We've got a couple of social events going on, a beer garden thing, get together with a bunch of people that are out in that area and also traveling to it. And then the conference is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then I fly back on Saturday.
Okay.
And I have basically events every single night. So I don't really have to be anywhere until Monday at 5 or 6 p.m. I think it is Berlin time. So I have basically I have 48 hours between, Saturday to Sunday, Sunday to Monday to kind of catch up on sleep and time zone stuff. Sure. And then it's conference all day. I'm not sure what we're doing Tuesday night. I feel like there's something going on. Wednesday, going out to a hoity-toity dinner with some industry friends. I think we're going to a Michelin star restaurant there, which is kind of cool. My wife is definitely not happy about that because she's not going to be there. And then Thursday night, having dinner at the top of the TV tower in Alexanderplatz. And it's kind of like the famous skyline if you look at skyline of Berlin, there's this giant tower with a ball at the top, and there's a restaurant at the top of it. So
nice.
So yeah, the Berlin TV tower, a little dinner up there Thursday night. Friday, I think it will be kind of a free night. We'll see whatever's going on. Somebody I know that's going to be out there and traveling also from the U.S. is a fan of improv comedy, and apparently Berlin has great improv comedy. And so she might drag me out to do something like that Friday night. And I said, all right, well, if you can drag me out, then I'll go with you. So we'll see.
Now, would this comedy be in English or would it be in German?
I think it would be in English, but who knows?
Because if it was in German, if it were me, I would be looking around, and when everybody else laughed, I would be, yeah, But I wouldn't understand a word.
Yeah.
Do you know any German at all from your time over there the first time?
9. That's about it. No, I know 0 German and had no problem getting around. There were a couple places that they just didn't speak, but then it was fine. Like usually it was just like, all right, we can figure this out. But I would say 90% of the time English was fine.
Okay.
Yeah. It's also, it's a big city. It's kind of touristy, the areas that I'll be in. So you've got the TV tower, which people come from kind of all over to see. You've got Brandenburg Gate and, things like that. So, I think you can get around fine. I did last year for a week. No problem.
Now, I think we talked about this, but you didn't get to see the Berlin Wall, did you?
No, because actually the wall is like moved all over the place.
Okay.
So what we passed through was the Brandenburg Gate, which is kind of like where, I guess, kind of like the whole stuff started.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's like a bunch of different like sections that have been moved around, but it didn't go to any of the
sites where they put it in. Okay.
Exactly. But the gate was cool. Brandenburg Gate, kind of like this big old thing. Very heavy tourist area.
I bet.
Yeah. And last year the weather was perfect. It's looking like the weather will be pretty good again this time, so might luck out. I don't remember seeing too much rain in the forecast. So, and it's a little bit cooler there right now. So I think I was looking at like 50s to 60s is the last time I saw it.
Speaking of cooler, total tangent. It's cooler here right now. So earlier it was 53 degrees. Okay. But the neighbors behind me were in their pool.
That's nuts.
Which I thought was insane. So I just had to throw that out there. Two things I think of when I think of Berlin.
Mm-hmm.
I always think of the first Raiders of the Lost Ark movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's where the Germans are trying to take the Ark to Berlin.
Mm-hmm.
And the second part is just, I guess this is just general Germany, because I don't think this was in actual Berlin. But I think of the second National Lampoon's Vacation movie, European Vacation, where they're at like the German beer fest. And when Clark goes up to where they're going to stay, and what is it? I think the word, what is it? The word sex is actually six in German. So he walks up to where they're staying and he says, "Hi, me and my family are all looking for sex." And the people at the door like shut the door in his face, which I thought was pretty funny. So anyway, so that's what I think. Those are the two movie things I think of when I hear Berlin in Germany. So there you go.
Okay. Well, I recommend it. I really enjoyed it. It's a beautiful city, very clean, very walkable too, like most European cities. So you've got the River Spree that kind of runs through it. Last year we did a boat cruise on that. We did like a dinner cruise, whatever, right down the River Spree.
Yeah.
And it kind of circles around the area. And that was cool.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's a good spot. I liked it. It was my favorite European city until I went to Amsterdam.
So it now ranks number 2.
I would say I liked London too. Paris was neat too. I'm not sure. Amsterdam definitely number 1. I think Berlin, London, and Paris are tied. Actually, Paris is probably my least favorite of those four. But I think London and Berlin I can kind of go either way with.
I think
London's
I would like to
easy because everyone speaks English.
Right.
It's very familiar. It's almost like you're going to Canada, like for vacation. It's like,
sure.
But it's such a historic place and there's so many things to do there.
I would love to go to Berlin for the history.
Yeah.
Well,
come on down. I'll probably go again next year.
Hey, if the podcast will pay for it, sure, I'll go.
learn video editing or audio editing or get some sponsors or something.
I could be your.
If Cisco will, sign out as a client, I'll make that happen.
I could be your key. What is it? Your key grip or your. What do they call it? The best boy or whatever.
Best boy. Yeah.
I just want to credit. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Associate producer. I don't know. No, Berlin would be awesome. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a neat spot. Like I said, plenty to do. Food was great and clean. Never felt like any problems. No, again, I'm in like touristy areas, but it's a beautiful spot. Especially when the weather's nice. Kind of just walk the streets and just kind of take in the sights and sounds.
Yeah. Well, what is it? I forget how long ago did West and East Germany merge?
I don't remember. Is it the 80s?
Because the wall came down. I was in high school.
1990.
Yeah, I was a junior in high school when the wall came down. Or I think. It was like 89 or 90 when the wall came down. So, okay. So, God, that was 36 years ago.
Yep.
Wow.
So here's a fun fact for you. The fall of the wall, the Berlin Wall, was triggered by a major communications issue.
Okay.
So what happened was, and I'll paraphrase this because I'm sure I won't get all of it exactly correct, but the idea was East Germany was starting to ease travel regulations and like restrictions to go between East and West Germany, right? Because it was very kind of tightly controlled.
Yeah.
Somebody went on TV, and I'm not sure who it was, basically said that East Germans could cross the border immediately with proper permission, even though the rules were supposed to take place like later and require like other business, other like government process, stuff like that. And so because this person went on TV and basically said, yeah, this is like starting right now, literally, basically like the media, the West German media reported that the Berlin Wall was no longer like a thing. And the border was open. And so a ton of people from East Berlin showed up at the wall, and the guards there like, what the hell is going on? And they didn't have any orders that were like, hey, shoot on sight or anything like that. And they basically just gave in to like the mob pressure and opened up the gates.
Sure.
That was it.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was all because of like a mistake in communication of how this was going to currently be, controlled.
Yeah.
And basically said, all right, well, a bunch of people just showed up. Like, what are we supposed to do? Like, oh, I guess we're going to open the gates.
we can't stop it.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because was it, it's like East Germany was like tied to the Soviet bloc and all the USSR countries, or I should say at the time they were all part of, the Soviet Union or whatever. And because they were big time communism.
Yep.
At the time.
Yeah. Yeah, because they basically got kind of divided from World War II. So.
Yeah, it's kind of wild to think that, 36 years ago that happened, and 36 years prior to that, you're just coming off the end of World War II.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you think. I just remember being in school thinking, God, World War II was ages ago when it really wasn't in the grand scheme of things. It only ended like 40, 50 years prior. So crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's humanity for you.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And then come home, kind of have theoretically a low-key week because I was planning to be out there for 2 weeks, but my wife's not going to come with me this time. So I'll just come back and hang out I have like a kind of a light week of meetings, and then
nice.
go to Milwaukee for a couple days. Might try to figure out if I can meet you at some point.
Yeah, we can work something out for sure.
Yeah, and then Vegas, and then
Vegas,
home.
baby, Vegas.
Yeah. So yeah, kind of a busy next couple weeks here. Actually, next couple months with different travel things, but.
Yeah, I think we discussed meeting in, what was it, Wauwatosa?
Wauwatosa.
Yeah, yep. I was actually in Wauwatosa on Cinco de Mayo at one of the accounts that I have, and it'd be a good spot to hang out. It's like a Mexican cantina.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you were telling me about it last time. So yeah.
Yeah. The Bel Air Cantina in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin.
Okay. Well, I'll be staying at the Renaissance Inn. I think I've got stuff to do all day Tuesday, but Wednesday might be free.
Yeah.
And then I think
we'll figure it out and make it work. Yeah. So cool, man.
Yeah. So exciting times. And speaking of Berlin, I finished a TV show recently that you might enjoy. It's called A Man in the Highest Castle. It's been around for a little while.
A Man in the Highest Castle?
Sorry, it's Man in the High Castle.
Man in the High Castle. Yep. Okay.
It's on, where did I finish? It was on Netflix. It came out a few years ago, and I remember watching the first season and I was like, oh, it's pretty good. And then I just never continued on. I think there's 4 or 5 seasons, I think. I don't remember how many, but I finished it. And the idea behind it is, what if the U.S. had lost World War II? And the U.S. has basically been divided, much like Berlin was, where the east coast of the United States is controlled by Germany and the west coast is controlled by Japan. And then sort of in the middle, you've got sort of like a lawless territory that neither side kind of controls. And so it kind of follows the idea of, what happens around that. And then it gets a little bit sci-fi at some point, but it's still an interesting look at what would have happened. It kind of follows stories taking place in New York and San Francisco.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was good.
So,
it was really good until the very end. I felt like the ending was just kind of too abrupt.
Okay. So Man in a High Castle.
Yeah. Man in the High Castle.
In the High Castle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good. Some, there's one of the actors, he plays a German Reichsmarshal is basically what his title is, but I'm not sure what that equates to, but basically a high-ranking general, and he's always a bad guy in everything. He's the bad guy in A Knight's Tale, and he just has that look of the bad guy. What's his name? His name is Rufus Sewell.
Well, yeah, if your name is Rufus, chances are you're probably going to be a bad guy.
Yeah. And so if you look him up, he just, for whatever reason, plays a bad guy, but he's done a bunch of stuff. You'll recognize his face when you see him.
Okay.
And
I was going to ask you if there's any.
He's really good in it.
If there's any big time actors in this.
Not really. The main characters are Rufus Sewell, Luke Kleintank, Alexa Davalos, and Joel De La Fuente, who with that name plays a Japanese sort of investigator inspector. Probably the only person you might know out of this list is DJ Qualls.
Oh yeah, okay.
He's in it, and he kind of plays just kind of I want to say a minor character. He's in kind of the whole thing, but he's not a main focus.
Gotcha.
But it's good. It's an interesting story. It's kind of, like I said, what happens, what if, and trying to think what else. You might know Rufus Sewell from The Diplomat, I think. Or if you remember, again, you've seen A Knight's Tale, right?
Yeah, long time ago.
Yeah, so he's the bad guy knight.
Okay.
In that.
Rufus Sewell. All right, I will look him up when we're done here.
Yeah, it was a good show. Like I said, I enjoyed it while it was on, and it's one of the very few shows that I binge watched. I watched it in 2 weekends.
Oh wow! Okay,
but I finished it, and like I said, the ending I could have done, I think, could have been better, but the ride was great.
All right, nice.
Yep. I'm trying to think.
Nice.
We started watching Margot's Got Money Problems on Apple TV.
Margot's Got Money Problems. Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's one of the Fannings. Elle Fanning, I think,
Okay.
is one of them, and you know, it's one of those things. After the first episode, I turned to my wife and I was like, all right, so like she's clearly going for like what's not an Oscar but an Emmy, right? Because that's TV.
Yeah.
Like she's clearly going for this, and she's really good in it. It's a comedy. It's kind of like a dark comedy, and it's pretty good.
See, Michelle and I, we've watched. What are we stuck on? Oh, we're watching Marshalls, which is a Yellowstone spinoff. Pretty good. A lot of overacting in it. But it's solid. And then there's another Yellowstone spinoff that starts on the 15th, which brings back a couple of the main characters from the original Yellowstone. I think it's going to be called the Dutton Ranch. So we'll probably tune into that because Beth Dutton is like Michelle's favorite TV character of all time.
I have never seen any of the Yellowstone cinematic universe.
if you like westerns, it's pretty good. But
I like sci-fi.
Yeah, I know you're a sci-fi guy.
And comedy.
And that's yeah, no, I get it. There's some funny moments in there, but there's a lot of Western type stuff, but there's some great fights. There's some good gunfights. There's some good fist fights. There's all kinds of interesting stuff in there. So, you ever get bored, catch an episode, see what you think. But yeah, I know Yellowstone was very popular, and it's one of the few shows we actually got all the way through.
You still never finished Game of Thrones, did you?
No. Mm-hmm. We talked about picking that back up.
Have you given up?
No, I think at some point we'll pick it back up. So, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't talk about this because I'm sure this is why we'll be able to pick it back up. So, I'm a bad father, Jeff. And here's why. Because this should have been top story, but my youngest son's college baseball career came to an end on last Friday. Which means that he might play some games for the Orioles team that I coach. So he might not totally be done yet, but I've had a child playing organized baseball every spring or summer since the year 2006. So 20 years. So next year, I will not have a kid playing organized baseball for the first time in 20 plus years. So that is when I might pick back up on Game of Thrones and catch up on some TV. But yeah, it was kind of a surreal feeling knowing that the baseball careers of my kids are probably over.
So what do you do? Do you have like a celebration of some sort?
I I don't know.
Why not? Or do they just not care?
The boys did. The boys did. They lost in the playoffs on Friday. And usually when college teams bow out, obviously you got kids graduating, you got kids leaving and whatever. So it's obviously the last time that entire group's going to be together. So they hang out on the field, they all hug each other. And I didn't know this until about 2 weeks ago. Apparently Joshua was a captain on this team. I didn't know that. I don't know why I didn't know it, but I never knew it. He never told me. But so they're all out in the outfield talking, and the coaches are talking to the boys and all that stuff. And all of a sudden I look over there because, we're waiting, it's his last game. So we want to give him a hug and all that kind of stuff. And, I knew he'd be sad. He was. And I mean, we all were. But all of a sudden I look over and I see my son Joshua addressing the team. Like talking to all, I mean, there's probably like 30 kids on the team and coaches, and he's just going off on something. I don't know what it was. I haven't asked him about it, but I'm like, the hell's he addressing the team for? But for some reason, he was allowed to and said what he said, and that was it. So it was kind of interesting. So
It had to be a proud moment.
it was. It really was. And he came over, gave his mom a hug, gave me a hug, just thanking us for the support throughout the years. And yeah, it was a little emotional.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was weird because I'll admit when Justin stopped playing, I cried. When Jeremy stopped playing, I cried. And when Joshua started playing again, I cried. So, you teach these kids this game that you grew up loving and all this stuff, and they all took to it, and all three of them made it further than I ever did. I mean, I didn't even get out of high school playing baseball. So yeah, it was a fun ride. That's all I'll say about it. It was a fun ride with the three of them, and I hope someday they get to do it with their kids. So,
and
cool.
You're still connected with the teams you coach and things like that.
I am, and I think that's why I stay in it because I enjoy it. We lost in the finals last night, 5-1, and what sucked was, so we made the finals, but we had. And I texted you late, and I don't know why. I should have texted you earlier, but we had a 4-hour layover. And so I guess the equivalent is a 4-hour layover in an airport. We're just sitting there watching these games go on. Kids are doing nothing. They're bored. So we left after about an hour. They all wanted to go to Buffalo Wild Wings and hang out. So we took them there. So what do? They eat a bunch of shit. They eat a bunch of crap, wings, burgers, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And we got back to the field, and you could just tell everybody was just like dog tired and, they food coma, all that stuff. And I'm like, this isn't going to be good. Sure enough, we go out, play this team. We lost 5-1. We had one hit the entire game. It's like, yeah, we should probably not do Buffalo Wild Wings in between games again. But it was,
you turn it around and say Buffalo Wild Wings is for winners.
Yes,
only winners get wings.
However, I will say kudos to the Buffalo Wild Wings in Bradley, Illinois, because not only did they not screw up anything, because we have shit on Buffalo Wild Wings a lot on this show.
Deservedly so. They suck.
Yes, so they've deserved every bit of it. But the young lady who took care of us, I forget her name, but I mean, we were a party of like 30, and it was absolutely flawless.
So what do you do with a party of 30? Just get a bunch of stuff? Or
no, everybody
30 individual orders.
30 individual orders. What she did was, and I've seen this in a lot of restaurants, but obviously split checks among the families. But what she did was, okay, I'm gonna do the orders by the kid's uniform number. So uniform number 7, who's your parents? Figure out who the parents are. What do you want? What do they want? Boom, number 7. Okay, number 10. What do you want? What do you want? Blah, blah, blah. And she was able to split up that way. That way the split checks were easy. She brought all the food out on her own. Drinks were never left empty. She was outstanding. So I'll admit, we tell the manager when it's bad. I made it a point to go up to the manager and let her know that everything was fantastic. So Buffalo Wild Wings, nice job.
All right. Well, I guess good job, Bradley. Illinois. You said Bradley, Illinois is where it was?
Bradley, Illinois.
All right. Leave them a good review, I guess. Tip well. Tip your server.
That's right.
Speaking of food, I was in New Jersey last week for work, and I forgot to tell you this, but I had one of the best meals of my entire life.
Ooh.
Yes. So this is up there with French Laundry in New Jersey. So
okay,
I've been to French Laundry. To date, that is the 1A or 1B best meal I've ever had. The 1A or 1B is Other Mama in Las Vegas, the sushi place, which I have a reservation again for this year.
Excellent. We've discussed that place.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm taking 10 to 12 people that I know out when I'm in Vegas.
Nice.
And we're going to go out and we're going to hit that place. And the Other Mama Supper Club is now into year 2.
Excellent.
So I was out for work in New Jersey, the Red Bank area specifically, so a little bit south of the Newark Airport and south of New York City.
Okay.
And we went to a place called Salt Steakhouse.
Salt Steakhouse. Okay.
And my gosh, man. We got so much stuff. There was, I think, 9 or 10 of us. So it was a couple people from my company, and then the rest were like the customer, the client that we've been working with. And so we had just finished kind of like all day workshop type stuff and went out for dinner. And between, pretty sure it was, it might have been 10 people, I think is what it was. Our bill was $2,200.
Ooh.
Yeah. We got, I have the menu pulled up, so I'm going to just, here's all the things that we put on the table. A sea bass and chips, which was a battered.
Real quick, you do this like family style type thing?
This was the appetizers, and then we had entrees as well.
Okay.
But we had sea bass and chips, which is a battered sea bass, homemade potato chips and tartar sauce.
Nice.
We had crispy beef dumplings in a soy ginger reduction, which was amazing. A chicken karage, which is dark chicken, sesame, ginger, soy, aioli, and daikon slaw, also amazing.
Okay.
We had duck and waffles. So I'm a chicken and waffles fan. We had duck and waffles, I should say. So an herb waffle with southern fried duck maple sriracha and bacon marmalade.
Duck maple sriracha.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
A short rib gnocchi, which was amazing. Okay. A Wagyu gyoza, which was also amazing. And what else do we have? So I think we just had a bunch of those things. Right? It was like 2 or 3 of those, like for the table for each of those things. And then we got, a variety of, I would say, different entrees. On the menu, if you look at Salt Steakhouse, you will find an item that is the 60-day USDA prime dry aged Tomahawk Big Boy.
Oh man,
$400.
How big's the steak?
It was like 32 ounces, something like that.
Most Tomahawks are right around 28 to 32.
Yeah. And so we were kind of laughing about it, and someone mentioned, it was like, well, you know what? If you'll go in on it, I'll go in on it. And said, okay, so let's get 4 people on this Tomahawk. So I recruited 3 other people. And we got, for 4 of us, we got the Tomahawk, which is, $100 a person, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But this is the kind of place where the entrees are all like $90 to $110 anyway.
Sure.
So it's kind of like right in line, right? Very expensive place. So we had the, the dry aged 60, it says 60 ounce, or no, 60 day, sorry, 60 day Tomahawk. They came out the table, sliced it there for you, and then kind of put it on there, and we kind of like family styled it from there.
That's a long dry age. 60 days. That's a long time.
And you could see it too. It was fantastic. It was really good. Everything was amazing. The mashed potatoes that we also ordered as a side, like for our steak. So we got mashed potatoes and green beans, I think. Like those were amazing. Mashed potatoes might have been the best mashed potatoes I've ever had in my entire life. Like they were ridiculous.
Nice.
And then just when we thought, okay, this meal can't get any better, the dessert menu shows up.
Dessert time.
Yeah, dessert menu. And so we got a bunch of desserts. I split Japanese donuts with the guy who was sitting next to me, and I had hazelnut and strawberries. And dude, it was so good. I don't know. I didn't eat a lot, like in total, but I ate a little bit of everything.
A variety.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it was so good. Yeah. This place was Salt Steakhouse.
Well, shout out Salt Steakhouse for being Jeff's 1A. Is that where we're at?
I'm going to say 2.
2? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, behind
Other Mama and French Laundry.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But it was so good. And it was definitely like a high-end place. It's a kosher restaurant, so a bunch of folks were there. And we had like dinner reservations like 6 p.m. We probably walked on there around 8, and it started to get busier around 8. And I looked around and I was like, who are these children that can afford to eat in this place?
Oh, really? A lot of young people?
A lot of
really?
young people, like, in their, I would say, like early 20s, on dates, and, groups of kids kind of hanging out. And yeah, it was kind of like that place where people who have money, their children go and hang out. And yeah, let's go drop, $300 on dinner tonight.
So what night of the week did you go?
This was Wednesday night.
So Wednesday night at 8:00 is when this place started to.
Yeah.
Really?
But it's all, it's New Jersey. You're about an hour south of New York City.
Okay.
So that doesn't surprise me too much, because I think by the time you get out of the city and you kind of get your day, you kind of go anywhere. It's right on the ocean. So, there's also that. There's like a boardwalk there. But yeah, Salt Steakhouse. Where is this in? This is, I don't know what town this is, but Long Branch, New Jersey.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, about $100 a person type place, and we dropped over $2,000 on dinner there.
but totally worth it.
Oh, I mean, for 10 people, yes, and for like a client dinner,
yeah,
a little more expensive than we'd normally do, but it was good. It was memorable, and that's probably the most important thing. It was a good meal. We all got a chance to talk and kind of enjoy the food and the company and stuff like that.
Okay, so $2,200 bill without gratuity or with?
I don't think that had gratuity in it.
Okay, so $2,200 bill, 20%. You're talking what? $450 roughly.
Roughly, yeah.
So, how many tables did the server you have?
I think we might have been her only one.
Okay.
So, and it was like a front waiter, back waiter type place. So we had like a few different people there, and we were also there kind of earlier before the place filled up.
I'm just wondering what it would be like to be a server there or a bartender in a place like that.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends on like their system, but if it was front waiter, back waiter, right, they're splitting it. Well, unless they pool everything.
Yeah. Because I mean, I just know some places, some servers and things like that make six figures. It sounds like that's probably a place you could probably do that easily.
That wouldn't surprise me in a place like that.
Yeah.
Because it's a high-end kosher restaurant, very highly rated type of place, and the food was amazing. So
yeah,
you've got all the ingredients, to have a successful journey there.
Now, do you guys provide? Well, not provide, but I mean, do you guys drink alcohol?
Yep. I had a lavender lemonade. That's what I had.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not much of a drinker, so I'm usually looking at like mocktails or things like that.
Yeah,
but...
yeah. No. No, I was just wondering because, you probably make a ton of money in a place like that.
Oh yeah, that doesn't wouldn't surprise me. Let's just put it that way. Like the average, like if you just go based off average check size, right? If the average per person there is $100 plus, right? You're off one person. You're looking at a tip of $20 per table for an hour and a half. It might be a little bit longer meals, but obviously the service needs to be at a certain level too. Can't just sling wings or anything like that. Can't do jersey numbers for anybody. Not there's anything wrong with that, but you know what I mean? Like there's a kind of
you're saying Jeff Cruz can't be late with a Coke at a place like that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. But it was so good. Like easily just a top meal.
So safely number 2 on the Jeff list of restaurants. Nice.
Yeah, it was good. No complaints.
Excellent.
And parking cost $15.
Wait, you had to pay $15 to park there too?
Yeah. There's no parking, so there's like a garage there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you have to like park in a garage or in a lot,
But we got validated, so instead of $20 for parking, it was $15. So
hey, all right.
Yeah, it's like all right. Well,
we'll save you $5 on parking.
Right. Yeah, I was talking to my friend Jim today, and I was like telling him about some gear they needed to get, and I was like, well, we got these thousands of dollars worth of like cameras and stuff like that, and now you need like $100 cable to connect this stuff. I'm like, okay, so just get the cable. Like, who cares?
Be like, hey man, we saved $5 in the parking. We'll be fine.
Right. Yeah. It's like, okay, you know all this stuff, and you need like lug nuts, but the lug nuts are like, a certain amount. It's like, well, you can't really do it without the other stuff. So just do what you got to do.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, nice. All right. Salt Steakhouse.
Salt Steakhouse. It's on the list on your many travels if you ever head to New Jersey.
All right. Right on the coast. Right on the water.
Yeah. It's a great spot. It was a little gray that day because I think it had kind of wanted to rain, but yeah, not bad.
Very nice.
Yeah. And that's all I got. I got a couple days left and then hop on a plane.
Yeah, you're in Berlin prep time, man.
Yeah, I got to figure out, I got to start packing maybe and figure out what I'm going to bring. So I'll be recording some podcast stuff out there as well. So got my little road kit, starting to figure out what I'm going to put together for that. But yeah.
Well, hey man, have a great trip, and I guess we'll talk when you get back. So what, 2 weeks?
Yeah, I may need some time to sync up. So unlikely that we'll record while I'm in Berlin on Sunday because who knows? Hell, I might just text you and be like, are you up? I mean, actually, no. So I'll be 6 hours ahead of you. So if we normally record at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sunday nights, that might be too early.
So yeah,
or too late for me, I guess.
You'd be looking at 3 a.m. on your side, and that would not be good for you.
Yeah, that might be kind of crazy. I don't know if I'll have anything other than travel story. I'm hoping Delta gets its shit together because when I left for my trip to New Jersey, what was it, last Tuesday, I had the first flight out of Asheville to Atlanta to catch my connector to Newark Airport. And the day started off with an hour delay because the radio didn't freaking work or something like that. The plane sat overnight and they board the plane and then they find out the radios, whatever. It was like the cockpit couldn't call like the flight attendant area. Like that's why we were delayed. And because we're in Asheville, of course, they had to get somebody out on call. It was like a 45-minute drive.
Sure.
So I'm guessing they were coming from like Greenville or something like that. And yeah, so that's how my day started. It was with an hour delay.
It went downhill from there.
Yeah, it was like, look, I had a 2-hour layover anyway in Atlanta, so it just kind of cut into that. But it was like, Delta, get your shit together, especially after the shit we went through coming back from California and sleeping in the San Jose airport overnight. I was not happy. So I actually, you get the feedback thing. It was like, I give them shitty marks. I actually got a phone call and an email apologizing.
Okay.
From Delta.
Kidding. Wow.
It was not the experience that a Diamond Medallion member, as valued as I am, should have to work. I was like, yeah, well, get your shit together and give me some fucking points then or something.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. So
that's cool they reached out. I mean,
I guess, but it's like, great. You left me a voicemail and because I didn't I'm not going to talk to you. Like, what do you want me to say? Like, get your shit together, fix your fucking planes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was my soapbox. Delta sucks, but all the airlines sucks. It doesn't really matter.
All the airlines they're
all the same. So. In the US, they're all the same. There is no difference between American, United, and Delta. They are all basically the same thing.
Is what it is, man.
Yep. Okay.
So, all right, man.
All right, dude. Yeah, that's all I got for you. I'm done with you.
Have an awesome trip.
Go watch Letterkenny.
I will.
It's a fun watch. They're short too. They're like half-hour episodes, so they fit.
Oh, see, I do better with half hour. That's good.
I'm with you. All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, man. I'll talk to you. See ya.